What's up guys, and welcome back with some more Limbus Company, and today we are going to be going over some very big Mirror Dungeon 3 news. As you can see, it is going to be dropping this week on the 14th, which, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know it was coming out this soon, so I was just like, huh? I was like, what in the world? So I guess towards, the end of the month, we'll probably get the Christmas event, you know, the 5.5 event. So that's going to be interesting there. But today specifically is Mirror Dungeon 3, Mirror of the Lake. So we're about to get into this, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's just start reading the patch notes and such, right? So it says, "Greetings, dear manager, the new content Mirror Dungeon 3, Mirror of the Lake will be added December 14th, which means really the 13th for us in the US. So keep that in mind." And then let's scroll down over here. Hard mode will be added December 21st. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be fun. I'm sure hard mode is gonna be a blast. It's gonna make me mauled like it did for the second version. Alright. So let's see here. With the Mirror Dungeon 3 update, all Mirror Dungeons will be combined into one. Mirror Dungeon 1 and 2, Mirror of the Beginning and Mirror of Mirrors, will no longer be accessible. Huh. So both of them are just gonna be gone. They're cooked. It's Jover. I wonder how easy Mirror Dungeon 3 is gonna be on normal difficulty then. Because if you're taking away 1 and 2, and everything is being combined into one for this third version, if somebody newer starts a Limbus Company and they've only done, let's say, the first few chapters, maybe even the first 3 or something like that, I would think that they would hope they're able to actually do Mirror Dungeon, so they could grind that out. So I'm gonna assume it can't be too bad difficulty-wise. Obviously, so that's why there's a hard mode, which will really give us a challenge for those who've been playing and are fully up to date with the game, so that's interesting. Okay, with a general overhaul of ego gifts, and gift compendium for Mirror Dungeon 1 and 2 will be reset. Yes, this I was aware of right here, because they said that a while back that they weren't going to be able to keep the buffs and stuff that we got, those gifts. So yeah, down the drain that goes. With new functions such as enhance or fuse added to the game, certain ego gifts, effects, and acquisition conditions will be overhauled. Certain ego gifts that were previously always available have become inaccessible until after certain starter buffs are activated. Oh. Excuse me. That's interesting. So stuff that was available before will only be available after we get specific buffs. Okay. So there's that's a switch up there. Starlight earned, yep, this is something that I also figured and was aware of, yeah. Starlight earned in Mirror Dungeon 2 will be reset, as we've informed you, yep, with the previous Mirror Dungeon 2. Notice, Starlight earned in Mirror Dungeon 2 cannot be used to activate other Mirror Dungeon starter buffs. Please note that the Mirror Dungeon 3 starter buffs can be activated only with Starlight, obtained from the third version. So yeah, you can't transfer the currency over. It's basically dead. It's useless. It is what it is. You know? That's how they want to go about it, so that way we're not stacked right at the beginning. Because I guess the reason for that is because for the people who would just have a bunch of currency stocked up, they would be cracked right off of the bat in that mode and just steamroll through everything, and they don't want you doing that. And then December 14th, scheduled update maintenance will continue. Okay. So like 2 hours, yada yada yada, and your Mirror Dungeon weekly bonus, yeah, so that stuff will be reset. Okay, so then rewards for Mirror Dungeon runs that remain incomplete before the 14th will be inaccessible with the progress reset. So yeah, claim your rewards before the maintenance begins so you actually get everything, okay? So make sure you do that, and let's see here. Dungeon entry and rewards. Entering the dungeon as it has been previously does not cost any resources. However, you could spend Unkefallen modules at the end to get your rewards. Unlike Mirror Dungeon 2 normal, 3 normal has a maximum of 4 floors. Okay. The rewards for completing the final floor of Mirror Dungeon 3 are the same for completing the final floor of 2. Oh! Really? Okay. Interesting. Oh wait, I think I interpreted that wrong. My bad. I thought it said for the third mirror dungeon, if you complete the third floor, you get the same rewards as you would for the final floor. So I thought it was gonna give you like extra rewards. My bad. My brain got cooked there for a sec. Weekly bonus activated. Lunacy 250. Battle Pass XP times 45, weekly bonus not activated, Battle Pass XP times 30. In previous mirror dungeons, the rewards scaled based on how many nodes are completed. However, in Mirror Dungeon 3, the rewards will be based on how many floors you've cleared. If you forfeit the Mirror Dungeon run in the middle of a floor, you'll receive rewards based on the floor you last completed. So last time they're saying it was based on just how many stages you got done, like how many levels you beat, and now it has to be on you actually completing the floor. I feel like I'm not gonna like that for hard mode. Reason being, there's been times with Mirror Dungeon 2 hard of where I make it to the end of the run and it's an annoying boss fight and I just don't feel like doing it. And I'm just like, bro, just give me my rewards and get me out of here. Like, this is gonna take forever. But I still get a bunch of rewards. So you're gonna have to complete it. I see. That's a little oof. And what is this? Starter buffs. Unlike the starter buffs of Mirror Dungeon 2, which were focused on directly influencing the combat, starter buffs in 3 will make it easier for you to find ego gifts to the build you're looking for. I think that's really good. Okay. That is actually something that could be hella useful. So if we're getting ego gifts that, like, if it's helping us get ego gifts that we need, I mean, if you want to do a fire team, boom, it's going to be easier. You want to do a tremor team, easier. Sinking, easier, etc, etc, etc. That's good, that it will guide you in the right direction right from the bat. That can make runs smoother. So I'd say that's a positive thing. Okay, so on the 14th, they'll introduce a total of 12 starter buffs. On the 21st, they'll introduce additional, they spelled additional wrong, additional buffs to each of the main starter buffs. Okay, so we have something for each version, you know, normal and then hard mode with it. And then selecting, select starting ego gifts upon entry. So this is what the screen's gonna look like. So I see it says bleed, tremor, rupture, yeah, sinking, freaking poise, charge, yada yada yada. Okay, that's actually cool. And then yeah, that's burn up there. So I'll let you choose there. So it says before choose. So before it was choose from 3 random ego gifts. After, choose a buff type category to choose a random ego gift from. Okay. First, select the ego buff category from the left side of the screen, then form a list of ego gifts on the right. Select which ego gift you'd like to begin the run with. Gain additional starlight by selecting a buff category you didn't use in your last run. Oh, excuse me. So it actually incentivizes you to actually try everything at least once, and you'll get compensated for it more. That's actually smart. So that way everybody at least tries these gifts once, right? That's actually a smart idea. Okay. In Mirror Dungeon 3, we have adjusted the probability so the higher you rise through the floors, the more likely it becomes for the higher tier ego gifts to appear. Good. Therefore, the highest tier available from the starter ego gift pool is tier 3, once the relevant starter buff has been unlocked. Okay. And in creating your team, after selecting your starting ego, you could choose the identities to start off with a Mirror Dungeon run with. In the third Mirror Dungeon, normal mode, your identity levels will be fixed up to 40. Okay, of course, makes sense. Like in previous ones, your actual identity and uptie and ego thread spinning tiers will be reflected. So, yeah, it's gonna put your characters up to level 40, but you know, you need to make sure that your egos and stuff, yeah. Gotta make sure those things are leveled up, which is very essential in this. So it says initial team deployment. before normal difficulty, deploy 7 identities and deploy additional identities as you progress through the dungeon. After, deploy 12. Really? That's how we're switching this up now? So now we just get to have 12, like the 12 right off the bat? Huh. That's actually interesting. Okay. I think I like that change. Yeah, just give us all of them. Yeah, just give them to us right off the bat. Okay. That's actually cool with me. I don't mind that whatsoever. That way we just have a bunch of options right off the bat. You won't have a super shaky start. Okay. I actually dig that a bunch. Starting cost bonuses. Gain additional start costs by fulfilling the following conditions in your initial team setup. Deploying a 1-star or 2-star identities. Deploying identities that were not once deployed, as in not even swapped in or out in the immediate preceding mirror dungeon run. Oh. So, I like that there's different ways that they're adding into this new mirror dungeon to get compensated for trying things that you didn't do in the previous run. Whether it was using egos, like picking egos in the beginning that you didn't pick in the previous run and getting more starlight, or doing stuff like this and gaining additional cost by using lower star identities, let's just say that, and using ones that weren't even used in the first place. That's honestly a good idea, because that way, I mean, it helps things not feel super repetitive at the same time, and it will probably encourage people more to try out different team builds, compositions. I mean, there's still gonna be people no matter what that just use the same stuff. I mean, I probably still will at times too, but at least the option is there, and you'll actually have more of a reason to do it, because you'll get more cost and stuff with starting cost. So that's good. Alright, identities that have been swapped in and out of this run will not receive starting cost bonuses in the next mirror dungeon run. Okay. Rest bonus. Each identity now has a rest bonus bars, max 5. Okay. Upon completing a mirror dungeon run, the deployed identity's rest bonus bars will be fully consumed, and you will gain additional starlight based on the amount of rest bonus bars consumed. Huh. However, identities that have been swapped in or out, or even once during the Mirror Dungeon 3 run, will not consume their rest bonuses and not receive additional starlight. Basically, only the identities that have been part of the team from the start to the finish run will spend their rest bonus bars and earn extra starlight. Every other identity that has not taken part in the Mirror Dungeon 3 will gain 1 rest bar. Will run 1 rest bonus bar. Okay, so that's interesting. So yeah, if you're swapping them in and out and stuff, they're not going to get the bonus. But if you just leave what you have going on that run all the way, then your other teammates, yeah, okay. I see. Interesting. Yeah, so like I said, once again, a bunch of ways to just get extra currency and stuff. Okay, now shops. What did they do? Okay, so I already see right off the bat things that are different with this. Before I even read the bottom part, let's look at this. So you have the heal center thing, you have the team thing as usual. You have sell gifts. That wasn't there before, correct? I don't think selling gifts was a thing before, nah. So you have sell gifts, and then you have refresh. I don't think refresh was there before. That's a really good idea. And it's cheap, so it only costs 25, because sometimes there's just a bunch of BS in there that you do not need. So the fact that you have a refresh option, peak. Good idea. I like it. Let's see. Identity deployment. Spend cost to swap out identities and ego that have been deployed upon entry. Up to 3 sinners could swap their identities at once. Okay. I see. Previously, different identity rarities had different cost. However, in the new Mirror Dungeon 3 shop, swapping identities and ego will cost the same regardless of identity rarity or numbers of identities swapped. Swapping 1 identity versus 3 identities will all cost the same. Really? Because yeah, I remember before, if you wanted to get the higher was it like the 3-star identities, right? It cost like 100, didn't it? So now everything is just gonna cost the same regardless. Oh, okay. That's actually interesting. And could be a good thing as long as it, I mean, if it's less than 100. I'm curious to see how much that would cost. But I guess, well, I mean, okay, well, actually, it just says team and it says 200. Okay, yeah, I'm over here saying I'm curious, and it literally says 200 up there. So, what you're saying is, regardless of the rarity, 200. Regardless of how many identities you swap, it's still gonna be 200. So basically, I could go buy 3 identities and have them be 3-star identities for freaking Ishmael, Ryoshu, Dawn, let's say, for instance. All gonna cost 200 instead of it costing 100 each. That's what it's saying, right? Okay, that could work in those instances. Sell gifts. Okay. You could sell ego gifts that you currently own. However, the sales price will be much lower than the price that you would use to purchase them. Okay, interesting. I mean, this could come in clutch, I guess, when you're a little bit of money away, or a little bit of cost away from getting something, an ego, or healing the team, or something that you really, really need. So in instances like that, they could definitely help out. And we have the refresh option. Use the refresh function to re-roll the ego gifts, yep, and identity skill replacement appearing in the shops. The more you refresh, the more expensive refreshing becomes. Sold out items cannot be refreshed. Okay. So if you keep pressing that button, the cost is going to go up on it. But at least you have the option now of a refresh option and have a chance of getting something that you would really want to get. Alright, rest stops. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. I see enhanced gifts and I see fuse gifts. So let's break this down real quick. In previous, okay, so heal sinners. In previous mirror dungeons, you had to choose between healing your sinners and deploying additional sinners to your team. However, in Mirror Dungeon 3, you could select both options. Hallelujah. With this change, healing will cost as well, just as it does in shops. The amount healed will be identical to the amount healed in shops as well. Okay. So now you don't only have to just heal one of your sinners a lot, or heal all of your sinners a little bit altogether. I like the fact that you could do both now. That's a really good thing. That's great. Because I've had so many times where I'm like, oh man, do I want to heal the team throughout, or do I want to just really focus on this one that's about to die? So now that we can do both, good. These are, like, for the most part, I like these changes. For the most part. The only thing that so far that has me a little oof is the part of where you're only gonna get the like a lot of compensation if you complete the floor. So like if you're on the last floor and let's say you just can't complete it, let's just say for like hard mode, for instance, you're not gonna get that compensation. Rather, as I guess before, from my understanding with the wording, it just depended on how many levels you beat. So even if you didn't beat the last level, at least you got the compensation for the rest of the floor. So I'm just like, I'm not really feeling the change that they did with that, but everything else is looking nice. Okay, so deploy sinners. Spend cost to swap out identities and ego that have been deployed upon entry. Up to 3 sinners can swap their identities at once. Oh wait, is this what I just read? Whoops. Oh, I think. Did I just confuse myself? Wait, no. This is not what I just read. Sorry. I got it mixed up with the one up there because the wording was sort of similar. Okay, so spend cost to swap out identities and ego that have been deployed upon entry. Up to 3 sinners could swap their identities at once previously. Different identity varieties at different costs. However, over here, swapping identities will cost the same. Yep. Wait, yeah, it's literally the same thing I just read. Identity deployment. Deploy sin. I swear I just read the same thing. They just named it something different over here. Bro, sorry guys. They got me losing my mind out here. Y'all saw what I saw too. That was just like, what? That's like the same thing I just read. Okay. Rest stops. Okay. Enhanced gifts. This is what I'm interested in. Spend cost to enhance the ego gifts currently in your possession. You could enhance an ego gift up to 2 times. Nice. Some ego gifts cannot be enhanced. Oh, so some are just going to be too good where they can't be enhanced. They're already cracked. I like this a lot. The fact that we can make this better and help our team comp even better is great. So like I said, for instance, you have a freaking bleed team or something like that. Now you'll be able to inflict even more bleed, for instance, off an ego gift. That's good. Let's see here. Now this is really cool. Fusing gifts. So you could fuse 2 ego gifts together and make something out of it. I like this. Like, what the hell? You could fuse ego gifts currently in your possession. Doing so will net you a new ego gift. Ego gifts' unique affinities will affect the affinity and buff category of ego gifts you could receive when fusing gifts. Some cannot be fused. If the fuse prediction is above a certain probability, the tier and buff category of the predicted ego will be displayed. The tiers and buff category of the predicted ego and the resulting ego may differ. Certain ego gifts can be obtained from the specific ego fuse combinations. This function will be added to the game after December 21st. Update. So basically, we don't get this until hard mode comes out. Damn, that's a... I would have liked to try that in normal mode, but I guess it would just be too powerful. I don't know. I guess it is what it is. We don't get to do that. Sad. I wanted to try the fusing thing out as soon as possible and see what kind of unga bunga stuff we could get. It is what it is. Alright, what is this? Select enemy floor buffs for each mirror dungeon floor. So isn't this the kind of thing that they ended up doing for Refraction Railway 2, where you had to choose like a buff for the enemy side, right? In Mirror Dungeon 2, floor-based enemy buffs are automatically selected. However, over here in the 3rd version, you can choose. Okay, upon clearing a floor, you can select a new ego. There, each ego gift will have a random enemy buff linked to it. Selecting an ego gift will also apply the linked enemy buff. Okay. Enemy buffs are completely randomly selected, regardless of which ego gift they are linked to. Refusing ego gift will select a random enemy buff from the list instead. Enemy buffs will compound with each cleared floor. I like the fact that we get the choice when it comes to this. So that's a plus. That's a plus in my book. And then Mirror Dungeon completion screen has been overhauled. Okay, so we changed the way this looks. One thing that I will give props to Limbus Company for is their freaking UI. Each time, I mean, with these updates, they end up changing it, and for the most part, I think stuff looks significantly better, easier on the eyes, and you really just get to look at everything in a much easier way, so this is very good. So the screen has been overhauled. While certain identity and ego details are now omitted, the results screen has been cleaned up for easier viewing, and is also now easier to see which elements factored into the amount of starlight you obtain. Yeah, so you get all the information on the ego gifts, you get to see that there, where you reached, percentage as usual, all your identities are there, and then they even break it down even more over here. Okay, shows you the starlight stuff difficulty. Okay. I like it. I mean, hey, the more you clean up the UI, the better, because man, some of the menus before were tough to read, like especially in combat, and then the way that they've cleaned it up is so good, dude. Like, oh my god, it's like chef's kiss. Alright, this is where things get very interesting too, boys. New ego gifts and choices added. 17 new ego gifts and 13 new abnormality choices will be added to the game. Oh my god. Wait, that was the wrong button. I meant to hit the Dawn button. This is peak. Hell yeah, dude. So 17 new ego gifts, that's a lot. Plus the ones that we already have in the game, we cooking. And then the 13 new abnormality choices, bro. I could barely remember what choice is right with the other abnormality choices, so 13 more. Oh man, I'm gonna have to start writing these things down or have a wiki up or something to so I'm choosing the right choice for these, man. I'm gonna have that thing saved on my PC. Just tab over, okay, which one was the right option? Alright, bet. I'm sure somebody has that out there. So, hell yeah. Alright, so Mirror Dungeon 3, normal difficulty, well, 4 floors. Participant limit will be set to 6 by default, okay. However, certain encounters that occur as a result of certain choices will have separate participant limits. Oh. So it might have more or less in that case at times with how many freaking participants IDs you could bring in at once. Okay. With the deployment cost bonus, the amount of cost obtained throughout a run and ego prices have both been increased. Okay. That makes sense. And is interesting. Okay. Ego gifts can no longer be obtained from regular encounters. Oh. Really? The chance of obtaining random ego gifts from abnormality encounters and risky encounters have been lowered. However, you can now receive more cost upon finishing an encounter. Ah, okay. I see. So the chance of getting it from abnormality and risky encounters is not high anymore, and you can't even get them from regular fights. So now you're getting more cost, which means you have more currency, so you have to just buy them through the shop and such like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to definitely keep that in mind. So yeah. With that change and the changes to the starter buffs, it is now easier to obtain the ego gifts or builds that you are specifically looking for outside of combat encounters. So they're making it less RNG based and more focused on what you actually want your build to be. So you get to choose the ego stuff in the beginning, then from there you could buy the buffs and stuff in the shops, and you're getting more currency to be able to do so. So it's really giving us, the player, more control over what we want to do for our team composition. I like it. I was going to put a thumbs up on it, because overall... is it going to make me go into Steam right now? No. Okay. So overall, I like these changes. They have UI changes in here. They have changes to let us choose what we want to deal with, difficulty-wise with stuff. You've got new egos, new ego gifts, new abnormality gifts. You have fusing stuff. You have choosing the buffs in the beginning. You have enhancing the ego stuff. This looks like a plus overall, and I'm actually excited for Mirror Dungeon 3. I'm glad that each time that they are bringing like this mode back and enhancing it, it actually is an enhancement, and for like I'd say 95% of it, I would say is positive, besides the one thing that I had mentioned before. So overall, this is a W in my book, boys. If there's something I missed or misinterpreted, let me know, because I mean, I'm only human. I'm gonna, make mistakes here and there with the reading stuff, and some things maybe I just didn't catch correctly, and you just gotta correct me on it. I don't mind, as long as y'all are just respectful with it, of course. But yeah, this is a W in my book. I like it a lot. We'll be here to check this out, most definitely. We'll stream Mirror Dungeon 3. We'll have a good time with it. That should be fun. I mean, it's just normal mode, so I'm not gonna mold or anything. Hard mode is where we're gonna be in hell, which is on the 21st, which we'll be there to stream that most definitely also. But yeah, what are you most excited about this? Are you excited for the new gifts, the new ego gifts, the new abnormality encounters, or is it actually just enhancing the freaking egos and stuff? It just seeing the new fights, like, what is it for you guys? Please do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, once again, hit the like button, Helps out a bunch. Subscribe if you're new. We do Project Moon content over here, other gacha games. I stream Limbus. I do the reactions to the new trailers that come out for Limbus. We just did Kanto 5. Beautiful chapter, by the way. Crazy-ass chapter. And you can join the Discord server in the description box below of this video, completely free to join. We have a Limbus Company channel there. You join in the server, go to role select the Limbus role, and then boom, you have access to those channels. And we'll be continuing Library of Ruina, hopefully at the end of this week. So until the next one, appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all, stay safe, and as I always do say, my dudes, don't do crack.
Be sure to subscribe to the Special K Experience if you enjoyed this video. If not, you're going to Femboy IHOP.